From the nation's capital, welcome to Your Source TV, where we empower you to think outside the box. I'm Elena Vladi, and in this segment we'll explore the amazing methods of body presence. Suzanne, what tools do you use to teach the present moment awareness?
I have a number of different tools that I use depending on circumstances. One of my primary tools is my capacity to shift my awareness internally and externally to the environment around me, so I can pay attention to things that strengthen me and give me more presence and more calmness. I can also check inside myself and feel different parts of myself that help to steady me, like feeling my backbone against the chair, feeling my feet on the floor. Just gives me an added sense of, here I am, I'm present in this moment. And I can feel the sensations of being right here. Another tool that I use, and I teach people, is how to pay attention to their breath and how to use a breath or breaths, and there are several to use, that can really calm your nervous system and help you to kind of take the static out of your thought process if you need to. So now we're going to do a demonstration of how I might help someone have more of their own full body presence and how it could assist them in their quality of life, or how someone might heal something or have more communication with their own internal system in a session with me. So Scott has agreed to work with me on this. And Scott, you and I spoke for about 5 minutes before we began this, but I will begin by saying the thing that I often say to people that I'm working with when they come in. I'll say, do you have a sense of where you want to work today?
Yes, I had say that I sort of have a knot in my stomach.
Okay.
That's
that you don't really want to be walking around with?
No,
Okay.
I would like that to go away.
Okay.
Actually, surprisingly, I feel rather relaxed right now on the air. I usually wouldn't, but
yeah. Okay. So one of the first things that I do is that I'm going to take just a very short while to connect to the earth myself and help you to ground and fill, and then we'll be working with that area where you would like to have more presence in a more relaxed manner.
Okay.
So if you would, just take a moment and close your eyes. Allow your awareness to drop down into your chest as you're breathing. Just a normal breath, feeling the rise and fall of your ribs. Yeah. And I'm going to ask you a series of questions, and I'd love for you just to let the answers float into your consciousness. Just let them pop in. You don't have to go looking for them. But take a moment and notice, what does your backbone feel like resting on the chair right now? And you don't have to answer this out loud. Just to yourself. Ask yourself the question and notice. Yeah, what does my backbone feel like? Good. And what do your sitting bones feel like resting on the chair? Are they resting equally, or is one feeling more fully connected to the chair than the other? Yeah. And then notice how your knees feel right now. What do they feel like? Do they feel the same, or is one lighter or denser or tighter or looser than the other one? And how about your feet resting on the floor inside your shoes? Are they resting equally on the carpet here? Or is one resting more fully than the other? Yeah. And then if you would, allow your awareness to drop down through the floor into the earth underneath of us, so that you're making contact with a safe, external, unconditional source of energy. And we talked about this in the last show, how rich the energy field of the earth is. So you can allow your attention to go there and just notice your first hit, as though you were putting down roots of awareness, or perhaps light beams of awareness, or maybe a river of awareness. Whatever metaphor works for you, ride it on down. And notice, does the earth feel warm or cool underneath of us? First hit, does it feel hard-packed or rocky? Does it feel sandy or wet? Yeah. Good. And then take your attention from the earth and just say, you know what? I would like to receive from the earth's rich energy field whatever sensation would nourish and nurture me most right now in this moment. And allow that sensation to begin to come up through those roots, or travel up that river or that light beam of awareness, coming right on into your feet. What would feel most nourishing and nurturing right now? What sensation? And then notice in your feet, is it warm or cool? Does it feel like a particular color? Like a warm red, orange, or a cool blue? Does it have a deep pulsation or a hum to it? Setting your intention to receive nurturing sensation. Letting it soak all the way into the very core of your bones and all the way out to your skin, as best you can right now. We're not asking you to do something that doesn't feel nourishing or nurturing. And then asking yourself, what would feel most nourishing and nurturing in my ankles, in your ankles? In your calves, your shins, your knees. Yeah. What would feel most nourishing and nurturing in your thighs? Again, letting, as best you can, letting this nourishing, nurturing sensation, whatever it is, soak all the way into the core of your bones, as best you can, all the way out to your skin. Yeah, good. And letting that nourishing sensation continue to flow right on up. What would feel most nourishing to your sitting bones, resting on the chair? And if you need to readjust, if you notice that you need something, let it come right on up into your spine. Moving up your spine. Letting all of your bones soak up with this nourishing, nurturing sensation. Your belly. Yeah. And allowing this nurturing sensation to begin to surround and cradle that tight spot that you were feeling in your solar plexus, in your midsection. Just cradling it, the way that you might hold a kitten or a puppy. Nice, steady sense under you, feeling your bones, feeling your backbone behind the tight place. And what do you notice, Scott, as you begin to cradle this spot inside? How large is the place in your solar plexus to begin with?
I feel it's probably, maybe about the size of a golf ball or a little bit bigger.
Okay, and did it start out that size?
No, I usually notice it when it's larger.
Okay, so when we began, it was a little bit bigger than that.
Yes, I feel much more relaxed now.
Yeah.
It's actually starting to go away.
Yeah, so you're noticing that as you cradle it and hold it, We're not trying to push it away or change it in any way possible, but we are just offering it unconditional, loving regard in a way. We're cradling it and holding it.
I am sort of seeing it as a puppy, so.
Yeah, well, there you go. Yeah. So as it gets smaller, does it have anything to inform you of? Is there a reason why it sits in your insides like this on a regular basis?
Well, I think it probably has to do with the stress of living and modern life, and cell phones always going off and having to be places.
And do you have a sense that that there's some kind of a way that you're not going to be able to catch up or do it well enough or something like that with the modern world?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. And if you were to kind of just distill it down to something very succinct, would it be something like, I'm not good enough, or I'm never going to make it, or something like that? What would be?
Sure, all of the above, everything you've mentioned.
Okay.
Pretty much the anxieties that contribute to what I'm doing.
Yeah, and so take a moment now and notice, though, how it feels as you're resting with your feet on the floor, a good sense of your bones, your spine is filling, your chest is filling up, everything around this place is filling with what would nourish and nurture you most. What happens to this place of anxiety?
Well, it moves a bit to the left. It seems to be a bit smaller.
Okay.
Smaller, perhaps tighter, but it's not as painful.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like it might be relaxing a bit.
Yeah. Yeah. And if you would you play with the thought that you are everything that you need to be, that you don't need to rush or worry about what's coming? What would it feel like if you were holding that feeling rather than the worry that you're not enough or that you're never going to get there? If you could just hold the thought and the feeling of, I am enough and it's all going to work out. And we know that you don't have any experience of that at the moment, but
Right.
if you could, just what would that feel like in your gut? Just for 30 seconds, a minute.
Actually, I seem to be having a little bit of trouble imagining that. I suppose that...
Imagining that you would be okay?
Yeah.
What would your gut feel like if you were open to the possibility that you would be okay? What would your gut feel like?
Of course, I'm verbalizing it now, but I think it would feel a lot more relaxed. And,
like kind of the way it's feeling in there at this very moment?
Yeah, I think even more so.
Yeah.
I think it's probably one of those physiological responses we get, I guess, conditioned to pretty early in life. So.
And we can also uncondition them when we get ready. Yeah. So would you like to play with this for a little bit more? We're going to take a break for a moment, but I'd like for you to play with this feeling of I'm okay, and if I operate from this place that I'm okay, I'll actually have more on board to meet what life gives me. Yeah?
Okay.
Can you be open to that possibility?
I'm open to any possibility.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. So we'll be back after a short break.